people at Unity have lost their minds in a poor decision that is going to be bad for developers, it's going to be bad for gamers, it's going to be bad for the entire industry, and not least of all, it's going to be bad for themselves. But is there any silver lining here? What do you think, Lucy? I'm hoping and praying something good comes out of this, but it's looking bad. I'll get back to that in a moment. In case you don't know what's going on or what the heck is Unity, Unity is one of the biggest game engines out there. And really it's the number one go-to for indie developers, thanks to its low or no cost models and just ease of use compared to something like Unreal Engine. For the past several years, developers have been able to create whatever games they want with Unity for free. If you're a small developer and you don't know if your game's going to sell or not, there's no cost in it for you. Not until you make a certain threshold of money, then you start kind of going on a revenue share model. They have different plans, but you can make any game for free with Unity. No costs associated until you become successful. And it's always been a fair deal, seemingly, until now. Unity announced that starting January 1st, 2024, they are imposing some new fees that don't even seem like they should be legal. And they have been stirring up everybody in the community, and really I think they've shot themselves in the foot here. So what they're saying now is that anytime somebody installs or downloads a Unity game, the developer is going to be charged up to 20 cents. That's not every time a Unity game is sold. That would be very fair, it seems. 20 cents per sale? No, this is per install. So maybe I bought a game made with Unity 10 years ago, and now I decide I want to install it on my machine. Well, somehow the developer is going to get charged 20 cents. And what if I want to install it on my desktop, my laptop, and my Steam Deck, if I had one? Imagine I have one. Well, that's 60 cents right there. The developer's not getting any more money out of this. Maybe I got the game for free years ago, and now I'm just installing it, and now dev's losing money. This does not seem ethical. This does not seem to make any sense whatsoever. The whole thing is just so wrong and so stupid and so messed up. This can lead to all sorts of problems, and there are some details that need to be ironed out still. However, there's just no justifying this whatsoever. It makes no sense. What's happening is developers are now moving away from Unity, right? They feel betrayed and nobody feels like they can trust Unity anymore. Worst of all is that games that are currently available to purchase everywhere on Steam, on PS5, on Switch, on Xbox, a lot of those are going to disappear. Indie devs are already saying they're going to start pulling their games because they can't afford to pay out all these fees, right? They're going to be losing money. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, they just feel betrayed. Cult of the Lamb was one of the biggest indie releases of 2022. And their developer is already saying that they're going to pull the game before the 1st of January. Get the game now if you want to and install it before the 1st so they don't lose their money. So it's bad for developers. It's bad for us as consumers also because we're going to be losing the chance to play all kinds of games. Games that have been out and maybe we never picked up. And perhaps games that would have been created that are not going to be created anymore because people don't want to learn Unity. People don't want to put their years of their life, their blood, sweat, and tears into this thing when it can all suddenly just be ruined for them. And again, Unity was always a go-to for budding developers, right? Aspiring developers. Now, nobody wants to use it anymore. It's bad for the whole industry. It's bad for companies like Valve and Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft and everybody who hosts digital storefronts, right? Because they're going to start losing games too, and thus they're going to start losing revenue. And ultimately, this is all very bad for Unity because everybody's going to start jumping ship. Nobody's going to use their product anymore. I say nobody, I know that's a generalization, but a lot of people are going to leave. A lot of people are not going to look their way anymore. I think it's a matter of time before they go under at this point. Even if they go back on what they've said, which I hope they do, and I imagine they'll do because I can just smell the lawsuits coming on. I don't think they'll get away with this. But even so, even if they backtrack on all of this, the faith in the company is gone. That's the impression I'm getting from everybody. What's the silver lining in all of this? Could anything good come out of this whole fiasco? I mean, there's going to be a ton of damage all around the board, especially my heart goes out to these developers, man. People who have spent so much time and energy and effort and even expenses into building great games with Unity, and now they're being forced with this terrible decision, being in this place that's really not fair. They never signed up for this in the first place. And now they're having to decide, do I pull my game? Do I stop developing my game? Do I take another few years out of my life to start over in another engine with this thing? It's going to be crazy for a little bit, but the only positive things I can see coming out of this, I think that this gives a real opportunity for other engines to come out and kind of fill this space, offer something fair, backed with sort of a contract that they won't ever get to pull something like this. Something that really fosters people's trust, something with a similar model where aspiring developers can start out for free, and then if their games do well, then start the revenue share there at a fair percentage, For a long time, it seems like there's been the big two, right? Unreal and Unity. And now I feel like there's room for more companies to come through and, take some more of that marketplace and offer solutions for developers, different tools. And hopefully we see something that's as accessible, as affordable, as versatile and powerful as Unity that will encourage more people to jump on board with them. I think competition's always a good thing. It's always good to have lots of options out there. Of course, there are others out there. It's just the two big ones are Unity and Unreal, right? Hopefully some of these other companies will either build new engines or improve upon what they're doing because they're getting more people jumping on board with them. I think there are some positive things that can happen down the road, but right now this is just a travesty. This is really disgusting. It's appalling. And Unity, man, you guys messed up. It's been real. Y'all are not going to get out of this one. Anyways, those are just my opinions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Shout outs to Lucy the dog today. She is chilling here. Let me show her.